So today we're just going to continue our run of showcasing and highlighting Black businesses for the month of August. And we have the privilege to have welcomed back the corporate class. Yay!
Y'all.
Thank
you. Basically, for those of them who don't know who you are, why don't we just start with Heather? Who are you?
Sure. So, I mean, gosh, that's such a loaded question. I'm Heather Christie Morris. Essentially, I am the CEO and the co-founder of the corporate class. And yeah, my day job is I am an HR strategist and leader and mom, wife.
Most important roles.
Yeah.
Those two.
Absolutely.
And Leah.
Yes, so Leah Thigpen, I am COO and co-founder of the corporate class, and my day job, I am director of customer service, digital services, and also a mom.
Aw, we love mommy. Like, we just love mommy. Like we don't have to get stuck on mommy, but so for those of you out there who may not know what the corporate class is, tell us a little bit about what is the corporate class?
So the corporate class is a consultancy firm, and we are in a position to offer professional readiness services to young women ages 18 to 30, and we have special support and other opportunities for young women of color in that space.
Okay, we love that
so much. And then tell us the age group that it's focused on.
So I would say our age group is targeting 18 to 30, but it really goes all the way up because even women into their 40s also sometimes look for support or look for guidance and community or mentorship, some things that they could get in a space that they're not maybe getting at their workplace.
And I love that. I used to tell Heather all the time, you know, I wish we had something like the corporate class when we were, you know, first generation and younger women going into corporate, because there's so many aspects to corporate that we had no idea being in our early 20s, even in, like I said, first generation. Whoa, we weren't ready.
Right, we were not ready.
There was like a lot happening in corporate that we just were not ready for.
Right, yeah. So let's talk about how you guys are equipping these women to navigate this crazy space we work in.
It's a crazy space.
Yes.
It's a crazy space.
It is a crazy space.
It's a crazy space.
We're doing it multiple ways. So we are looking at, as Leah mentioned, workshops. And so we do corporate readiness, professional readiness, entrepreneurial readiness workshops. Our objective is really to get these women ready for the workforce, but also ready for these interviews, right? As individuals who have done lots of interviews in our time in corporate America, corporate Canada, or different corporate environments that we've spent time, what we recognize is sometimes we've had to say no to women who look wonderful on paper, right? And the reason is because when it comes down to the interview, when it comes down to the networking, interacting piece, there's just been something missing a lot of those times because it's very competitive. And so we want to get these women ready for the workforce. That's what we're doing. And so we're doing that through our workshops, but also through our Pinnacle Leader program.
Yeah. And so tell us, what is the Pinnacle Leader program?
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah, one's going to slide that by me. What is that?
So our Pinnacle Leader program is a program that we are currently about to run into. It starts on the week of September 11th.
Okay.
And essentially what it is a program that's going to get these young women ready for workforce. And so we are covering all aspects of things that they will need to know, not just going into the workforce, but what to do once you get in there, right? And so once you're there, now what? It runs Tuesday and Thursday evenings, 5:30 to 7, and it'll be downtown Erie.
We love that. And I'm just gonna come right out and ask, when you say young women of color, what about, why just young women of color? Leah?
So I won't say it's a just, right?
Okay.
We do offer support for all women because we recognize that we're all kind of behind the 8 ball when it comes to corporate America and professional spaces. But women of color in particular, as you mentioned, it's rough out there, right? And so as you talked about, being at a certain age and you didn't have the guidance or you didn't have the support, and so we recognized from our own experiences, we wanted to help bolster individuals who are currently in that space and have them not have to go through those same kinds of challenges that we went through. Or if you do, you recognize maybe how to move and shift or pivot in that space than what we knew by scraping our knees and bumping our heads, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so somebody out there is probably saying, like, what do they mean? How difficult it is? Why is it difficult? And what are some of the things that you have experienced firsthand? Who wants to go first? Because I believe we all have. I believe we all have. And who wants to go first? Just you. Obviously, you don't have to name any names. But what's an experience that maybe even hurt your feelings? If we're being honest.
So I can say for me personally, and I'm willing to share this, I just recently shared it. Some coworkers of mine or former coworkers asked me to have a talk kind of about DEI, and as a part of that talk, I shared some of my own personal experiences. And several years ago, before I was in leadership, I had a leader who told me that perhaps I was not, for one, ready for leadership and was not maybe giving me the guidance on things that I could do in order to get there. But what her suggestion was that maybe I should go to a company where there were other people who looked more like me.
Okay,
Let's
I
just
mean,
sit in that
excuse
for a
us
And that
while
I would
we take a moment of silence.
Yes, exactly. Let's just sit in this.
Just gotta take a moment of silence. Wow.
Yeah, and so, and I would say, and so I don't, and again, this isn't to disparage any one person, but it was my experience. And I think her process was not that she was maybe denying me that space, but saying that there isn't room for me where I am. And so perhaps at another company where there were more people like me, there would be more opportunity for me.
But
so
there wasn't opportunity for you
from her
where
viewpoint.
you were.
From
Wow,
her
that's a thing. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
And Heather.
Yeah, so interesting. I had a team member. So in my previous position, I had direct reports, and I had a team member, and we were having a conversation, and it was really interesting. We were trying to pin down a moment when we can actually have a meeting, and I recognized it was myself and another leader recognized that it was just this person was just dodging and dodging and dodging, and finally we pinned down the meeting. And what was said was, I've never been led by a leader of color. A black leader is what they said. And so I wasn't sure if you were competent or not.
Oh my gosh. That's another moment of silence.
Right.
We all just.
I just can't believe it's in 2023 or the two.
Right.
I mean, within this decade,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't even know if I could top that. I guess it's my turn. I just remember one time, like, I was referred, like, there was this opportunity, I guess somebody must have reached out to my supervisor and was like, hey, we were interested in knowing if your employee would want to do one of these talks in one of our learning symposiums, if you will. And so she emailed me and told me, somebody reached out and asked, you would be great for this, would you be interested? And I said, oh, well, who was it that reached out and what is it? She was like, well, I really don't know, but I was just wondering, should you decide to do this, how did you want to make up the time? Are you going to use vacation time, or are you going to stay after work and make this up should you decide to do this? So it was not, wow, that was great that they thought one of my people would be good for this. Great opportunity. It was like, A, are you going to make this up in vacation? And B, are you going to stay after work and make up this time, depending on how long it was? And that was it. Yep. Just like, can I at least get the information first?
Right.
Anyways, we're just sharing our experiences, and we're also sharing, that's why the corporate class is so much needed. But when we come back, Alicia will tell her experience. Keep watching. You're watching Chatting-With-Sonya and Friends, and we'll be right back. Do you have a story, idea, or something you'd like to share? We want to hear from you. Email us at chattingwithsonya@gmail.com, and you could possibly be a guest on the show.